What's going on, YouTube? In today's episode of Rad Dad Life, I'm gonna go ahead and steeple my gun. I'm gonna do an undercut right about here, just a little bit more, and then the double undercut because I do like the way it feels. I've done these before on my 26 and 34, and I do really like the way it enhances the grip and the feel of my firearms. So stay tuned.
Just let me fall to my grave. Just let me fall to my
Welcome back. So of course the firearm is empty. As you can see, there's no upper slide on this. There's no slide at all on this. It's literally just taped off. What I'm gonna focus on first is removing all these grooves here on the side, in between the finger grooves. I do like the finger grooves. I do leave them on. They fit perfectly on my fingers, so I do keep them. I do want the undercut and the double undercut because I do like the way I naturally hold the firearm. It just feels really good in my arms when I do those cuts. I'm gonna teach you guys how to do it. Of course, you're gonna need a Dremel. I did spring for the higher end one just because I do use it more often. I did initially do it with whatever came with this kit. I did my last two firearms, but I know the sanding bits were getting kind of dull, or not as, the coarseness was kind of wearing down. So on Amazon, I did go ahead and buy a pack. I think it was like $5 or $10 for, I think, for me, lifetime supply. I don't think I'm ever gonna go through as many as they came with the kit. So essentially that's how we got. I'm gonna show you guys how you get started. As you can see, I taped off the firearm, just the upper components. You could take them off if you're more OCD like. On my last two firearms, I didn't. All right, so I have everything ready to go. Like I said, I did have a lifetime supply of these. One pro tip though, these come really cheap. These pistol grips, you can buy them if you're buying products online before you even start this process. You can get them on like Optics Planner or Midway USA. It's usually where I get most of my components for my firearms. Honestly, for like $7, and it's free shipping if you add it to whatever you're getting already, or any of your local firearm shops. They would have these probably for like $10, $15, a little bit more in store. But I would highly recommend you practice on one of these guys first. So as far as the actual sanding process, we're not trying to take material off the side of the firearm or anywhere else besides these two areas, the trigger guard here and the undercut. The areas I'm trying to take material off. Everywhere else, you're just trying to take off the pre-existing grip that they have, because the grip on the Glock isn't very great, and I do like a very grippy gun. So I highly recommend you practice on this first, this cheap $15 item that will not affect your firearm if you jack it up. For like I said, not so much for sanding I need practice on, but I did buy from ODI. I'll link it in the description. I did buy one of their wood burner pieces. It is that waffle pattern. It was like 15 bucks, but it was the only place. I mean, all the other wood burner kits, you can kind of make fly. Like I use the dot ones, as you saw. If you go back and look at my T-Rex Arms holster review, you'll see my Glock 26. It's stippled with the dot pattern. That was just easy as, honestly, it can't be any easier than that one. Just dot, 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 dot. Everywhere you see a space, put a dot. This one will be a little bit more of a design. I don't know if I'm gonna, I'll show you later in the video, but, so I did buy that to practice that design on here so I don't jack it up on my firearm. So we're gonna go ahead and get started here. If you haven't used it before, you gotta press the button to loosen it, tighten it. Once you do that, then it just sprints freely. Alright, so don't forget eyewear. This does fly everywhere. I am gonna go put on an N95, which I highly recommend you get, not a regular mask, but an actual N95, because you'll get a lot of particles everywhere. You really don't want those in the lungs. Being an respiratory therapist, I can tell you right now, putting things in the lungs that are meant to be there, not a good time. Also, the key to this is baby steps. Don't try to do big, large chunks of areas at a time. Do a little bit at a time. Look at it, see where you need to go. And you're better off doing a little more, or a little less, sorry, than doing too much, because you can't go back, but you can always keep adding to the texture, or you can always keep removing texture. So little baby steps, okay? We'll show you guys in a little bit. All right, so as you notice, long sleeve, you got a lot of material coming at you. A little irritating on the skin, so why not prevent it, just wear a long sleeve. You don't need to put on a full-on jacket, but this works just fine. So as you can see now, all the material has been taken off. A little rough around the edges, but just need to sand it. Honestly, I can just use one of these little pieces here and just use that to sand it. I'm gonna go ahead and do the undercut and the double undercut next. I do like this smaller piece for fine work. I'm gonna go back to the bigger piece again for starting to do the undercut in the beginning. All right, so it's OT Defense Stipple Tech. It's the waffle cone one. I just opened it up now. It comes with Stipple Tech by OT Defense, a little sticker. That's always nice. USMC veteran owned and operated, which I very much like. I didn't know that. I would have definitely, well, I ordered from them anyway, but had I known, I would have ordered from them sooner. Maybe even stippled my other guns with their stuff, but I didn't know about them. 100% made in the US, always nice. Love supporting local businesses, especially military owned businesses. That's always fantastic. I'm letting the waffle cone heat up. As you saw, I mean, because I didn't have to be generous or nice, I was able to move material. Within 30 seconds, I removed all the material and the grip off this pistol grip here. So super easy for practicing. It doesn't take more than 30 seconds. We're gonna do an inside here just to see if it's hot. Yeah, it seems like it's hot enough. So I'm gonna try alternating pattern. So we'll try long press. Definitely doesn't need much press time. Literally just about half a second, and that seems to be all you need to press down on. You can go back and repress the same one I just tried right now. picking up the pace a little bit just to see how it feels if I go fast, if it really jacks it up, or if I really just got to go slow. Trying different patterns to see if it looks kind of foolish if I don't have them perfectly lined up, because I don't have OCD like that to have each one look perfectly identical. I'm starting to get some staggering now to see if it looks absolutely foolish or if it's tolerable. I'm trying to see if I can redo some spots here. I'm gonna go all the way to the outside of this one and see how it goes. Just turns out. Make sure you wear your mask, because burning polymer is not very good for your lungs. So texture feels pretty good already. Take off any of that extra material. I mean, that's gonna feel real good. That's how it looks here. And as you can see, that's you know, honestly, it's not laser engraved like you go out and pay for. If you want your Glock to look beautiful, then I highly recommend you take it out and get it laser engraved. If you want the slides, you know, all that is much, much better via machine. It has, you know, almost 100% accuracy, and I'm not trying to make my guns look more beautiful, just practical. And so this grip already, just in this lower part, feels really, really good. I am gonna try to make it a little bit prettier, obviously, in my gun. I don't have that much of the urge to make it look ugly, per se, but just so I could see if I went fast, how does it look? It doesn't look bad if I go fast. Obviously, it's gonna look nicer if I take my time, which I'm gonna try to take my time. I'm not trying to purposely make this look ugly, but, you know, we'll see what happens. All right. Getting the first lines on. All right. So far, we're not done yet, but this is how it's looking. Honestly, well, that's too much, but there you go. Not bad. I like to go pretty high. Eventually, the stippling will calm down so it's not so dramatic. In the beginning, it definitely is gonna jack up my stomach. The other one did the same thing, but very aggressive stippling. It feels good. I have it up pretty high along with the undercut. And just right now, it feels pretty dang good. All right, I'm gonna keep going, almost done. Check back with you guys in a little bit. All right, add a little buffer. I'm gonna put some, usually use WD-40. Ballistol works fine for me. I love Ballistol. It's a gun cleaner and lubricant. Like, it just works fantastic. I've used it on all my firearms and never had issues with it. So I'm just gonna kind of buffer this guy out here. Yeah, looks pretty dang good. That's it here. I'm not sure how the lighting looks. I can lift this up like that and show you. So obviously the pattern is not perfect. I tried my very best to line it up. Pretty much impossible, for at least for me and my skill level. But for what I wanted, I have the undercut here that went up a little higher, so now I have a nice high grip. And then I have the double undercut here for when I rest my finger. It's a nice enough groove and a little pocket that I can push backward pressure in. I put another stippling up here so I can have my thumb just rest against some kind of friction. I do have the light that will be bouncing on there, but overall, whew, been wearing that for a while. Overall, it feels pretty good. So hand up here, index finger right about there, pushing back, pushing down. Nice full grip on this side. Overall, I mean, it feels pretty dang good. Just like that. So, you know, if you guys want to take the chance of trying to do this, it's definitely achievable. It doesn't take a lot of skill. I don't have a lot of skill. I have practiced. You know, definitely recommend buying the pistol grips in order for you to practice sanding, removing material, stippling designs. Honestly, the dot, there's a couple other ones in here that are better dots, is a lot easier. It's almost 100% foolproof as long as you don't go through the dang polymer. It's literally just dot. You feel dots everywhere. It's super easy. I wanted to try a little different. I like the waffle design. Now that I'm looking at it, it looks pretty cool. Do I regret it? No. It's what I wanted. It's nice. It's definitely not gonna go anywhere. And overall, it looks pretty cool. I like it. All right, guys. I'm gonna go and try to add my mag well that I got from Rival Arms and see if I need to make any adjustments, or maybe the texture is a little too aggressive to fit it. I'm gonna go take a look right now. I'll be right back.
Do you want to see something super cool that only 3 people have ever seen in their lifetimes?
All right, so no bullets in the magazine. Chamber is completely empty. Nothing in there. Stick my finger in there all the way through. Same empty magazine. So overall, I think it turned out pretty darn good. Stippling looks good. It's very aggressive, so it's gonna definitely take some skin off my abdomen for the first couple months. The other stippling did the same thing. Looks good, double undercut. Everything feels good. Magazine. So I can just press it, drops no problem. I have the Rival Arms mag well on there. Really nice. Grip wise, I think it feels good. I got a nice high purchase on the beaver tail. Well, there's no beaver tail here, but nice high purchase up top. Other hand has a nice double undercut here so I can push back. And then support hand has nice purchase down here, so I'm pushing downwards. So overall, high grip. And it feels pretty great. So as you can see, I have this finger pushing down. I'm pushing towards me, and it's locked in with some stippling, and it's a little undercut so that I have a little bit of a shelf to push towards me, while this side over here is pushing downwards. So overall, it's great. I'm glad I did it. I do have a aftermarket slide that I got from Boogeyman Customs. It looks super sweet. It came with a barrel that they have. I forget the brand. I have to look at it. I'll link it in the bottom. I bought some aftermarket suppressor height sights. I took it to the shop, and I don't know what the problem was, but they marred the life out of that suppressor. So they're gonna go take it to the gunsmith, and they're gonna try to add it to the rear sight. I don't know if the tolerances were off, or so far from what I've seen Boogeyman Customs, none of the tolerances are ever off. They're perfect. The gun looks fantastic, so I can't imagine that the tolerances are off. I think maybe the guy just made a mistake and wasn't perfectly aligned when he tried to push in the new sight, and because of that, it went at an angle, and then he pushed it anyway through, and so it sat in the rear sight well, but at an angle. So I think he kind of wasn't aligned, and then he pushed it through. They do it in the back, so I can't really see, but they're gonna take it to the gunsmith. Hopefully it gets aligned up. So then I'll put on my Boogeyman Customs. I do have a Trijicon RMR, so that's pretty cool. It already came with the RMR cut. It comes with the slide just in case I don't want to put the RMR, but I will. I'll quote witness it with some suppressor heights, suppressor sights. They are tritium, so it's kind of cool. I'll quote witness with them. But overall, feeling really good. Yeah. I can post a picture on my Instagram if you guys want. It's at Al Cerna or Rad Dad Life. I do have different accounts based on, obviously, Rad Dad Life, and I do have Al Cerna. So yeah, if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, I will be posting a picture of the after product. I do have a picture of it, you know, stock Glock. I am souping it up to what I want it to be. But honestly, the Glock 19 just feels great in your hand. I've ran a 26 for 4 or 5 years, 6 years, and I mean it works great, especially with the cut that I did up top and the double undercut. It helped me get a higher purchase on the firearm, but pinky would still kind of hang loose. The 19 with this full size grip, now with the magwell, it just feels great in my hand. 4-inch barrel, it just feels good. I will probably still be carrying the 26, especially on summer days where it's super small, easy to carry and compact. But I will be carrying this in the new Sidecar 2.0, the holster by T-Rex Arms with the extended magwell, or not, with the spare mag on the actual holster itself. I'll do a review on that later. Like I said, if you guys have any questions about any of the stuff that I use, the Dremel, the extra supplies, the wood burner kit, the tip that I used for this, or in general, just any questions, I do reply to them all. I do read them all. As always, have a rad day, guys.